want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty?
Finals is coming, and as you can tell by the title of this video, preparation is a must. So I thought that I would kind of compile a little video of my personal study tips for whenever finals come around. And the first one of them being an example that I'm using right now. So it's December, and that's the kind of finals I'm talking about right now, but finals always hit at the worst time. Like, it's always just the worst time. It's either Christmas and you want to be excited but you're also drowning, or it's about to be summer which you're excited but you're also drowning, and then you're having to figure out like where the heck are you staying for the summer, what are you doing, and prepare for that and all of that stuff. So it's a stressful time. And the number one tip and number one thing that I think has helped me the most whenever finals come around is recognizing that finals preparation happens all semester long, but especially when it's time blocking. So I time block anyway, but whenever you can really block out your time and see, oh, I only have this amount of time. Also, for example, I'm someone who really does well whenever I can sit down and study for a long stretch of time. But for instance, today it's 1:40 and I have 20 minutes before I have to walk like 2 minutes away from here and do something for the rest of the night. The only time I have to study is right now. And so what I'm about to do is, instead of saying, well, that's okay, I'll just do something else, or like filming this video right now, I'm gonna study for 20 minutes. And so even though I'm not going to be able to sit down and understand a whole chapter of something, I can understand a concept of it. So I think, especially if you're one of those people like me that you want to be able to sit down and have like a long stretch of time to be able to study, try and for at least a little bit of this time, for at least finals, carry around something with you that's just easy and that you can just pick up whenever you need to and study it. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Yeah.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
So it's currently 1:56. I have to be at that place at 2 o'clock, and I was honestly just planning on like working on the assignment, but this just really proves to you that you don't need as much time as you think sometimes, because like I said, I was only planning on working on the assignment, and I actually finished it, and I'm able to email it to my professor to get some revisions on it, which is seriously a huge help because it's extra credit. So I just feel like I'm in a much better place now. And there you go, there you have it. So I'll see you guys in a second. So back with tip number 2, which is my study guide technique. So I've been using this, it's not really a technique, but we're just gonna call it a technique for now. I don't receive any study guides from my professors, so instead I make my own study guides. So this obviously requires a little bit of class participation, making sure you're paying attention and stuff like that, but I basically take everything that we've talked about and things that I know that they said are important, and I put them into a format and into a document that I know I understand better. So let me show you a little bit. What I've done is I've gone through every chapter and I've written out things obviously that are important to what we're learning, but of how to remember stuff and like things that can make sense to my brain. For example, I'm trying to remember the 5 major components of IT infrastructure. So I made an acronym. I add in whenever I study it, I'll go through and I can comment on it, putting it together because you're also studying at the same time. But you can go through it and realize the things that you're not understanding very well. So you're going to get better results whenever you can just continually do these study guides. So like I've been working on the study guide for like a few weeks now, and every time that we finish a chapter, I would just go in and put in that information in there. I also do better with printed out materials whenever I can touch it and like highlight it and mark it up. That's what helps me, and it makes me feel more motivated to do it. So that is my tip number 2, is make your own study guides, because even the ones that you're being handed, you might not understand as well as if you put it in your own words. You're gonna understand them a little bit better. So, this next tip that I have is, I think, something that really changes the game, because it's not like, I don't think this is gonna be like, if you do this, you will pass your exams kind of thing. I think it's more like, if you do this, like, you just feel more confident about it, sort of. So this tip is that whenever you have to commute somewhere, or like anytime that you're taking time to travel to something, look up on your phone like whatever your topic is. For instance, we're talking about privacy and intellectual property and management information systems. It seems like this is the only class I take because it's the only one I talk about, but I'm like horrible at technology. So what I'm gonna do is look up on my phone a course. Crash Course has this playlist that they have about intellectual property, and so I'm gonna watch all of these videos while I drive to the movie theater to see Frozen 2 with my sister. So it's like, you're not actively studying, but it's like putting it around yourself is really helpful to just feeling more confident and understanding the material better. I don't know what tip I'm on, but the next tip that I have seems a little bit obvious, but I said I'm putting all the tips in it, and I meant I'm putting all the tips that I have in it. And this tip is to write out all of your classes that you have, and then write out every single like piece of material or thing that you can do to help study for that. So you're basically compiling a study guide, or like a study checklist for each of your classes. And I think that this really helps me personally, because I'm able to see that I have more in my tool belt. So excuse this awful lighting. My poor camera does what she can. So what I'm going to do is write out, like I said, each of my classes. So starting with the first one, and that is my management information system class. So now I'm going to literally write out every single little thing that I need to do to be ready for that test.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down to fly one. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time. My next tip, this one seems kind of obvious as well, but this one is to switch up the study space that you use. This could work for you or work against you. The only reason why I say this is because I feel like if I study in the same exact place all the time, I'm gonna get distracted at some point, or I'm just gonna like feel unmotivated because like I don't want to study. And so whenever I just equate one spot with studying all the time, it's gonna get very just unmotivating. And so that's why I kind of switch up the places that I study, and I call it study hopping. It's not, anyway. So like right now I'm gonna go to the library. I don't typically study in the library, but it might be helpful just to switch up the space that I'm doing it in. I might go to the coffee shop down the road. I might go to the Starbucks around the corner. I might study here or on my couch. I never study on my bed because that's a bad idea. But anyway, so that is my tip. I don't usually study in the library, but that's what I'm about to go do. So, okay, so my last tip is to figure out the time that you study best. I feel like people say this a lot, but not a lot of people actually do it. If you don't know when you study well, that's kind of the first step. You need to, like, you know, do a little scan of like, okay, let's wake up early and try to study. Okay, I didn't get that much done, or, you know, I tried after my classes and I got a lot done, or I tried later in the night and I did really, really well. And just figure out when you study best and try your hardest to plan your schedule around making sure that you're studying at that time. So I don't study well in the mornings. I'm surviving in the mornings, and I love my morning routine, but I don't like adding work to it.
So instead of trying to wake up early and study and like get busy and stuff like that, I'll wake up early and like for right now I'm just gonna go to work, and then I can take 30 minutes of a break from work to be able to study on this because I came 30 minutes earlier. I know that like my job allows for a lot of flexibility, so I'm very blessed for that. But if it's something in the case of you can wake up earlier and, you know, do your workout, or wake up earlier and do something that you were going to do sometime later in the day and try and do it earlier in the day if you study better later in the day. If you study well in the morning, wake up in the morning, obviously. So anyway, that's what I'm about to do. I woke up at about 6:30, and which is why my voice sounds like I just woke up, because I just did. And I'm just gonna get ready for work and go to work early so that I can take some time off during the middle of the day to be able to study. So that is it for this video. I could definitely do a part 2 to this easily, but maybe in the spring. Good luck on your finals. I hope, but I also know that you're gonna kill it. So don't let it get to you. Just always remember that school will never be worth your mental health, and yeah, 1 week of tests should never define your well-being or your worth. Kill your finals and do great, and I'll see y'all back here probably next week with a lot of Colorado stuff. Bye. I hate my life. I don't like my finals. Nah. I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away.